forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos. This block is Roundabout. It finishes at 12 inches. Here's the diagram. We have flying geese, rectangles, and squares in this block. Here's what it looks like block to block. And here are the patches. Patch A is a 2-inch finished half square triangle. We cut 2 7/8 inch squares and cut them in half once on the diagonal for 2 patches. These triangles are used for the flying geese units. So we're going to make flying geese 4 at a time. So in that case, when we cut the squares, 2 7/8 inches, we keep them as squares. And we'll need 8 squares. If you're using Quilt or you're cutting patches, you'll need 16 patches. And here are the Quilt dies that will cut this. This is the sky part of the flying geese. Patch B is a 2 by 4 inch finished rectangle. We cut 4.5 inch by 2.5 inch rectangles. We'll need 4 for the background and 4 for the darker color. Patch C is a 1/4 square triangle and it's 4 inch finished. This is for the geese part of the flying geese. We'll cut a square 5 1/4 inches, cut it in half diagonally twice for 4 patches. We'll need 4 patches or 1 square of the dark brown and a medium brown. Since we're going to make the flying geese 4 at a time, we'll cut squares. So 1 square of each, 5 1/4 inches, and do not subcut them. But if you're not using the 4 at a time method, you'll make the patches. You'll need 4 patches each of these fabrics. And here are the Quilt dies that will cut them. Patch D is a 4 inch finished square. We cut 4.5 inch square, and we need 1 patch for the center of the block. Here's the Quilt dies that will cut this size. And here are the fabrics. This is patch A, which is the sky portion of the flying geese. And the flying geese go in the corners, the outer corners of the block. This is patch B, which are the side units in the block. This is patch C, and these are the goose part of the flying geese. We'll put these together with patch A to make our flying geese 4 at a time. And this is patch D, which is the center. For steps 1 and 2, we're going to make the flying geese. We'll make 4 of each of these flying geese. Then in step 2, we'll sew them together in pairs like this. For flying geese 4 at a time, if you're not familiar with this method, stay tuned for a short tutorial that shows you how. For flying geese 4 at a time, you need 1 large square and 4 small squares. The large square is the geese part of the flying geese, and the small squares are the sky part of the flying geese. On the back of each of the small squares, draw a diagonal line. Place 2 of the small squares like this on the large square, right sides together. You line up these edges and make sure these lines line up. Then you're going to stitch 1/4 of an inch on both sides of that drawn line. Here are the 2 stitching lines on either side of the marked line, and now we cut it in half on the marked line. Now you'll open these up and press your seams open on both sides. Cut off the nubs. Now you'll place another square in this corner. Here's your diagonal line, and stitch on either side of the diagonal line. And do that for both of these. When you're stitching, your stitches should come out or start right at this point, this intersection here, this 90-degree angle. Cut this in half on the diagonal line, and you have these 2. Press your seams open and cut off your nubs. And do the same for this one. 4 flying geese. The half square triangle units are done and sewed together, and I wanted to show you when you sew these 2 together, put this piece on top as you're sewing, and this one would be on the bottom. When you're sewing your 1/4 inch this way, you can see this point, And make sure you stitch right above that point. If you stitch on the point, you'll cut off your points. So you'll stitch right just above your point, and then when you open it up, your point will match. And these seams were pressed open, so I'll press this one later. For step 3, we're going to sew these rectangles together. Sew them together like this, press the seams open, and you'll have 4 of these. Now all of our units are done, and we'll just lay the block out on the proppet board. And there's your block. You sew these units together into a row, this row and this row. Press your seams open, then sew the rows together. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, click the bell to be notified of future videos.